Hey, how's it going? I never know how long to wait before saying something because like whenever I watch my videos back, like it's always cutting off like what I'm saying, but I'd feel dumb just sitting here like just looking at the camera, just like not saying anything. Sorry, my I think my earpiece got wet earlier because I'm trying to use it now, and like every few minutes it just says it just says pairing. It just like makes a beeping noise and just like pairing. It's like it's never used to do this. I feel it must be dead now, which is funny because just yesterday we were talking about how I've had it for years and it's great and I would recommend it. It did it did probably get wet today. I went biking and I got caught out in the rain. All right, you know what? I'm just not going to use this because that's not seeming to want to work right now. I'm gonna go old fashioned with this. Sorry, I'll get to like actual doing stuff in just a moment. I was not expecting this. Technical difficulty. Sorry. I could just try working without music today, but that sounds terrible. Why would I do that? Sorry, I'm just fixing the volume. And all right, let's do this, shall we? Let's also position my tablet in a way that it's not going to get like accidentally like thrown onto the ground when I rip out the earbuds. Um, hopefully that's fine. Hopefully. All right, and then yeah. Oh hey, wait, we're doing game dev too, aren't we? That's a thing that sometimes happens here. So let's do that. I'm just closing up a few windows and switching over to screen cam. So hey, I remembered to start the script today. At least that. Um, let's yeah, what's on the agenda for today? I was looking at the backlog and um, link bonus badge warding, memory profile. Yeah, memory profile is still like this ongoing thing. I've been wanting to work on it because one time we saw the program balloon up to like many gig of memory usage, and that was uh, not what we were looking for. And so we set up memory profiling, and we haven't been able to catch it in the act though because it hasn't done that anymore. So it's kind of an ongoing task. Kind of, I don't know what to do with it. Link bonus badge warding. Yesterday, I was like, "Oh, I should do this," and then I was also like, "Well, I'll not do it right now. I guess I'll wait till tomorrow." Hey, Mr. Lee, thank you. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. Um, and Marty, how's it going? The yeah, I did also predict though that actually today I might not do this. I might just procrastinate on it. So I think, actually procrastinate on it. I want to jump into something a little bit bigger, which is I think conditional dice rolls. This second half, I started thinking about the second half of this, and like the more I think about the second half of this, the more I'm like, I don't know. But I do want to do the first half. Conditional dice rolls. Yeah, I was thinking of doing this for a few reasons. One, I don't think it'd be that difficult, and two, I think it would add a nice dimension of interaction that we don't yet have. So, yeah. How do I want to handle this? I guess I guess I can just do it like the way that huh. Okay. Well, so one thing that I'm concerned about or one thing that I was concerned about is that like I I want to involve special recognition with this. I want to like oh so conditional dice rolls like the game has so on the secret control panel the game keeps track of like things that are said in chat. So for example, if I said like potatoes in chat, then we would see it would show up here, potatoes. Uh, and so conditional dice rolls will basically like use these for some effect to like see what happens. I don't know. Just basically so like instead of this just being informative, it's actually like interactive and like part of the game. Um, I don't know exactly what to do in terms of like keeping track of who says what and like so what we have at the end of the what we have at the end of the events now, like the event system. Um, we like call out particular players who were like quick on the ball and in like choosing like a particular event. And I was thinking of doing something like that. Although I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe this should be the small thing that I envisioned it in the first place, which is basically just that dice rolls can use those items, and when they do, those items are basically like reset. Maybe that's literally all I need to do for this. I should probably at least start there, and then if I feel like doing other things, I can do other things later. Because like it was occurring to me that if I was going to call out particular players like on these events, then I might want to change the way that I keep track of this data. Because like right now I hold on to this data per player for like almost an hour. I think a little less than an hour. Actually, I mean it depends, but like not more than an hour. Um, so it's just weird that like I don't know. Like what if hypothetically like someone says this and then like 20 minutes later someone says so someone says potatoes or whatever. And like 20 minutes later like more people start saying potatoes. Like does that original player get like credit for potatoes even though like potatoes didn't really take off until 20 minutes later? And then what if someone said potatoes like an hour and 20 minutes ago, and then someone said potatoes 20 minutes ago, and then potatoes like takes off and like rises up to the top of the list. Um, Sorry, I probably should have used a more realistic example because it's hard to think about that seriously as potatoes. But no, basically yeah, it's not clear to me like if I was gonna call out like which players are like you know like responsible or like which players are like get credit for this thing. Like it's hard to tell like how in the history of this thing like how far back to look and like where to really attribute that like ownership or like influence. Oh, I haven't seen what happens when we light the unlit lanterns in this event, so cool. I still only know what it does to snuff the flame. Alright, let's is the art working? Yeah, big gold star on light. Okay. Uh so yeah, let's just do the simple thing first, and then maybe at some point it'll become clear to me like what exactly I want to do with the rest of it. Um, oops. So yeah, I guess we'll Oh yeah, one thing that I had talked about before was possibly even like giving credit to players for well, okay, yeah, no, this was something that I talked about yesterday when trying to decide what to do with these. Um, I was thinking, well, I could actually like assign like some amount of bonus experience for these things. Um, but then this started feeling like a smaller version of an event, and yeah, no, I keep I don't know. I guess on some level I know that this isn't going to be like the full like this isn't going to be everything that I want. Oh, sorry. As the gold flame alights, many shadow form moths brush past, careen into the fire. They oh no. Oh wow. Protospasm's events are always so poetic. I all right. So Yeah, I know, like up front, I'm pretty sure that the conditional dice rolls need something else, and I keep trying to like think of like what that something else will be, but it'll probably be more clear like what they need once I've implemented it, and I don't know. I mean, I guess like as it is now, like uh, the implementation is going to be really really easy. Basically, it's just when we do the roll command, which is where roll. Here it is. When we do the roll commands, okay, so we init the roll, and then yeah. Let's handle this in init roll because we'll want to do it for chat GMs. Oh, do we want to do this for chat GMs? Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Hmm. Yeah, the thing about chat GMs is that they don't actually have access to the secret panel, so like they can't see potatoes. Um, I guess that's not necessarily a reason to not include this though, because just because they can't see, they just because they don't see the like compiled data here, like the script, puts it together. They can still see chat, and so they can still see what's happening in chat. So, uh, yeah. All right. So, yeah. Init roll. Let's go right. So let's go to where that is handled, and so basically what we'll want to do is we'll want to look for action tags like we typically do. So yeah, and like the simple thing, like the very simple straightforward thing is just all that we do is we include the action tag. No, we don't really even have to change anything. Like because the action tag like will appear in the text because the GM uses it in the text. And then all we really have to do is rinse that data hypothetically. Um, because like it's basically like to like include to use the tag in like in this conditional dice roll is basically like to it's basically like the culmination of like what this voice data means, and then once it's used, it's not like gone forever. Hey, Snap you, how's it going? Welcome. Um, uh, yeah. So okay. Ah, man, it's just I know that there's something else. Like I know this is not the final implementation, but I just really desperately want to know what it is up front. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out the old-fashioned way. Um, so yeah, let's go to what is it? Like let's look for the regex that we used for act search. Yeah, this one here. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but it works. And so now let's go back to init roll. Um, and I guess we can do this basically wherever. Oh, we should only do it if it's a valid roll, because like sometimes rolls are not valid rolls. So if result is greater than 0, I think this is the thing where like yes, we did in fact actually make a successful dice roll. So I guess we can just do it up front. So act search, oops, act search is just now, oh yeah, so it's not, so we're looking at, the text that we're looking in is, roll dialogue. Wait, what is the length of roll dialogue? Oh, we're rinsing roll dialogue because, um, hmm. Yeah, no, what is it that we're searching in here? Oh, you know what? We might actually have to run the search in two separate places. Like we might want to run the we might need to run the search not in a init roll, but like in like before we send up an init roll, because um we yeah, I like the text means very different things, like when it's coming from the GM versus when it's coming from like GM, like to the chat GM, versus when it's coming through the secret control panel. So I yeah. So I might, yeah, maybe I'll do the act search in each of those two places, because there's only those two places, and then maybe we'll just send through the string of we'll just send through the or we'll send through like a list of like the action tags by themselves, and then we can process. We will do that, the processing on that list of action tags here, but we'll do it based on the data that we've gotten from other places. So let's try that first. It might be simpler, I think, because like the difference is that excuse me, when for the chat GM, like we don't care about what the chat GM said. All we care about was the actual roll command itself. So we don't actually have. I think we've discarded that data by this point. We don't actually. We haven't like. We had no reason to keep that data around, so we just kind of like, you know, did away with it. Okay, so let's cut this back out of here, and let's go to the other two places where we init roll. So here's where we init it through the as the chat GM, and oh, we do send through top clean. Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay, top clean is what we would actually have applied this search to. So, I don't know why we kept it around, but we did apparently. And sure, apparently that we do have that data accessible. Weird. I honestly don't know why we did that or why we're doing that, but all right, whatever. So then here we're not sending through any extra data. We're just sending through init roll. Oh, because we're using like the roll dialog thing instead. Here's where we set like the roll lines or whatever, or roll texts. The roll dialogue, yeah, that's what we were seeing in another place. So I wanted to send that data through. Well, okay, so let's look at what we're doing with that actually. So it was what is this? Do now index 1 is init roll, and do now index 2 would be that text. The length of screen string. Oh yeah, right, because it shows up on screen. That's why we have to. That's why we have to do that. Okay. Screen string. What does it mean otherwise? Oh, otherwise we put together screen string as the say string. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So. Screen string. So maybe we'll just use screen string for this, because like, yeah. So I was gonna just like do it like right at the top here, and so I didn't know what string to be using, but like maybe screen string is fine for this, and we'll do it so that instead we'll just do it here, once we've so either we got the screen string through the roll dialog, or we got the screen string passed in through that term, and either way we've got it by now, and so we can just use that. I think we go on to like actually do more to it. We actually go on to add in like the fate smile, everything went better, blah blah, etc etc. Yeah, the results quote. But that stuff, like, there aren't going to be action tags in here, so we definitely don't need to include that part when we're searching for the action tags that might have been used by the GM when initiating this command. Okay. Alright, I think that's good. So we have act search, and so now basically what we can do with this is we can like compare it to the list of voiced like basically we can compare it to the list. Well, I mean, okay, so during an event, it actually doesn't show that the same list. It doesn't show like potatoes. It actually shows like a summation of like what's happening in the event. But you know, like whatever. Yeah, that stuff. The voice data, I guess. How do we keep track of that voice data? We do keep track of it. We do keep it in like a really easy to reference sort of like unit. So I'm just trying to think of like what we want to do with this, and I think we want to basically just like crop. You know what? Actually, you know what's crazy is I think we can actually do something even simpler than like what I was about to do. I think we can basically just say hmm. We can just say like okay, so like rolled and so instead of act search we'll just say like rolled voices equals regex find blah blah blah. And like I said, like this text, you know, we're looking for it in the GM's dialogue, and the players will already see it in the GM dialogue. Like it's already there. Like that's how it's getting referenced for this purpose. So we don't actually really even have to do anything with it here. We just look through the screen string for those rolled voices, and then oh yeah, rolled voices isn't a thing yet. But I'll just like declare rolled voices as a thing. Where's my other voice voicey stuff? Excuse me. Yeah. Voice cooldown. So rolled voices equals an empty list for starters, and then really the only other thing that we have to do is the cleanup work. See, I guess this is like a large part of like why I felt that like there needs to be something more, because this is so simple. This is so simple. So simple, so straightforward. Um, so uh, so what we're doing here is we're going through the new keys. Wait, what are we doing here? No, this is for event data. No, we don't want to do the show event data. So we're talking about right. So showing event data is like this thing where it doesn't show the voice data. We're looking for the else case, which is where we show this other stuff. So for vkey and volume dictionary.keys, yeah. So if so first we rinse vkeys based on whether they've like whether they've dropped so far as to go below. Oh, weird. We don't actually rinse player data. I could have sworn we would rinse player data here, but we don't. We only pop these keys out of the volume dictionary. So that's interesting. All right. So actually, yeah. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say if v key is less than or equal to volume minimum, or if v key in rolled voices. Then that's another condition wherein, well, you know, it has run its course. We don't need to be considering it further at this point. Yeah. Huh. That's funny that we don't actually rinse it from. Yeah. So I was thinking. Well, actually, all right, I'll need to go look at the part where we actually change players' like voice data because I know we keep track of some of this. Like so volume dictionary is where we keep track of the aggregated data. It's what literally drives like the data that shows up here. Um, but that data comes from players, and there are mechanisms so that players can't abuse the system. And we keep track of a lot of that data on the player, like per player. So uh, I will want to. I'll probably want to use that data at some point for this system, and I'll almost certainly want to at least clean up that data because I think that data only cleans itself up. If it might not clean, well, okay, let's go there now because that's actually this is again, again this is basically all we need to change here. Um, okay, so let's go to dot voice. Yeah, so if player dictionary name dot voice time is less than frame time. Wait. What are we doing here? What is this place? Where have we come? This is huh. If voice time is less than frame time, how could it not be? That seems like it'll always evaluate to true, but I don't know. Whatever. Voice time stamped equals frame time. Act character count equals 13. What is happening here? Okay, this is where we're like setting the yeah, this is where we're like setting the voice data. Is it that player's voice data just never gets rinsed? I mean, that was actually one of the things I was considering, because if we never rinse players' voice data, then we can always go back in time and figure out who like was the first player to like we actually really could attribute some of this some of this stuff. So all right, let's let's hmm let's go with it for now, I guess. Voice time. Why is it that voice time is a single value? Player dictionary name voice time. I don't know, I really feel like that should like the timestamps. Well, how are we using this? Let's just sorry, I'm just gonna reacquaint with myself with how this system works real quick. Voice time equals frame time plus voice cooldown times the length of voice keys. Oh, right. I remember. Voice time is just so that players can't spam. Yeah, okay. So I don't have to worry about that. Voice index v key equals voice timestamp. Yeah. Okay, so it is dot voice. It's literally dot voice, and I just so here we're not rinsing it, but that doesn't mean it's never getting rinsed, right? So let's see what else we do with dot voice. Self dot voice. Yeah, we define it as a dictionary. When we mute a voice, we go through and excise that item from the dictionary. Or we just like mute it completely. Wait, really? For Viki in player dictionary name. Oh, yeah. Oh, mute voice. Huh. That's when we mute an individual player. I think I think this is like one of the moderator tools that we have. Like if someone's like spamming inappropriate things, then we can just like give it the, kibosh. Um, all right, so hmm. I'm really judicious about like what shows up on screen, but at the same time, I've also like added in some systems that are a little bit liberal with what gets shown on screen as well. So like for example, there are ad lib events where like players can make up their own action tags, and those actually show up on screen. And well, so one of the other things I'm thinking of is like extending the guest GM system so that like random players can like get called out, like players who are like leading the game can like actually like, you know, initiate an event of their own, um, if they're so inclined. And I was just thinking like, you know, some of this voice data stuff, like if I wanted to integrate it better so that, for example, so that if the chat GM wanted to, know more clearly like what are these items, then like I could just like at intervals, like not all the time, but just like just every so often, just like have these items like just like slide across the bottom of the screen. Um, I just, sorry, random thought of like, hey, that's technically something I could do. All right, so this is not the voice thing that I was looking for necessarily. Although it is interesting to point out that when I mute a player's voice, I don't. When I mute a player's voice, I don't actually clear their data. I still don't clear their voice data. I only set all of their. I only minus equal, like a great number from each of their volume dictionary entries. So, huh, interesting. Is that's not exploitable? I hope. What if I said like potatoes again? Because I haven't said potatoes in a while, relatively speaking. It's supposed to come up as like 16 or so. Yeah, 16. Okay. So the math there does seem okay. I just wanted to check. Excuse me. Okay. So we'll assume that's fine for now. So voice time is not the same thing. Here's where we're populating the voice table. And, you know, likewise, we're populating the volume dictionary, etc. Then, this is voice time stuff. Okay, this is, yeah, again, this is basically just the same thing, but from a different data source. And see, so yeah, it looks like we literally never rinse this data, which is kind of exciting because, oh, you know what? You know what doesn't quite work? Is that, in order to, like, decrease a player's voice, we consider it, like, chronologically older. Because older voices also, you know, they, like, so, like, basically, like, the way the voice system works, like, you'll notice it started at 16, it's already down to 12, and, so, well, actually, here, I'm gonna say, instead of just saying potatoes, I'm gonna say potatoes are like really cool and you can eat them. And now it's not gonna come through as 16, it's gonna come through as 98. And it's gonna drop off really fast at first. So it's already, like, you can see it, it's like just rapidly ticking downwards. It's down to 92 already, and then, but like when it gets down to like 16, like it was ticking downwards, but it was ticking down relatively slowly, you know, in comparison. And the reason for that is that the voice data fades fast at first and then slower over time. That's to keep track of like, it's so that like what's getting used a lot will like rise to the top of this list, because then hypothetically if there were more items on this list, they would get sorted, you know, by this number, and they would the ones that are getting used more and more frequently and more currently will rise higher, and then they'll you know, they'll like gradually fade over time. Yeah, and so like the reason, or I'm gonna say just like cats with no other text. And so the reason that cats came in at 16, whereas potatoes, when I had like said potatoes are really cool and you can eat them, came in at a much higher amount, is because like your verbosity, like how descriptive you are about how you use like these tags, actually contributes to like the potency and like the volume of these items. So just because it really never mattered previously, what I'm literally doing is I'm saying that like this tag came in a long time ago, because if it had come in a long time ago, it would be down to 14 or, you know, 13 or whatever. but now that's like, but now if I'm looking for like, now if chronology actually matters for something else, I'll have to just come up with a different system for that. So, uh, hmm, maybe maybe I'll just, maybe this could be really simple. Maybe I'll just keep track of two data points. I'll keep track of the effective time and then the actual time, right? And then that way, when I need to do calculations relative to the effective time, I can use the effective timestamp, and yeah, that seems pretty straightforward. Because like we just took a full tour of like where this feature ever gets used or where this data point ever gets referenced, and it was like several places, right? It was like not a hugely complicated or like intricate or multifarious sort of thing. So for vkey in player dictionary, blah 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 blah. Um, volume dictionary index vkey minus equals etc etc. So I guess we'll just like the data point that we have currently, we'll just call that like index 0. Um, and then we'll also have index 1, which will be like the actual timestamp. So player dictionary. Oh no, sorry, not volume dictionary. Vkey, no, player dictionary. Yeah, right. No, this isn't for. Hey, that's a new follower sound. Uh, Plike says, sorry for mispronouncing your name, but welcome to the channel and thank you for following. um, yeah, no, this isn't for the volume dictionary. This is only for the voices data. So yeah, so player dictionary index name dot voice index vkey index 0. That yeah. Okay, and then now let's go down to yeah, the next place where we're referencing these things. And so now player dictionary name voice vkey equals voice. So it's going to be so now it's not just going to be equal to voice timestamp. It's going to be voice timestamp and then frame time is the actual time. And so now we can use frame time for when we need to use reference the actual time. All right, so I think there's literally only one other place that we have to affect this change, which is here. So again, it's voice timestamp for the first value, but then it's frame time for the other value, and then that is literally all of it, right? Yeah. Cool stuff. Oh, I know what we use mute player for. We don't use mute player. Well, maybe we use it for moderator tool, but oh, I got the pronunciation right. Cool. Welcome. Yeah, no, we mute the voice of a player who leaves. That's why we mute voice. So it actually does get used fairly often. But all right. So I think we might use it for other things too. But that's like I think it's like when a player gets banned or when they leave or when various other. Okay. Okay. Well, so that's kind of cool because now oh. Oh, you know what? I don't necessarily want to do it like this. I mean, like, this is like kind of, hey, congratulations on leveling up, Marty. Level 32. Way to go. Whoa. Why did it just say low, nice books? Why didn't it say the outcome for that event? I was changing how, like, outcomes work not long ago, so I seem to have left something slightly broken. So that was event type 1. How will this turn out, or how this will turn out, your guess is as good as mine. That's indicative of event type 1. Weird. Hold on, let's look at this. Sorry, I'm just distracting myself. I want to get back to what I was doing because it did just occur to me, like, I don't actually want to overwrite that timestamp quite the way that I'm doing right now. But yeah, for now, let's look at, this is Curse, and that is Interior, the quest. So yeah, so we have the two, We have the two outcomes here. Oh, I wonder if it's going to do the, I wonder if it's going to follow the quest chain correctly. Because we chose books, or Marty chose books, so, hypothetically, it should, follow the curse quest chain. However, it didn't do the, so this is what it was supposed to say. It was supposed to say, lo, most of the writings recount irrelevant tales of local history. One ancient tome tells of something more sinister, dot, dot, dot. Spoilers. um, and then, it didn't, though. It just, So let's look into that. Oh, wait, I think I was looking into this the other day, and then I got distracted by, like, something more urgent, and I never actually, like, came back to this. Yeah, I think this is the thing that, like, I was, like, putting my foot down. It's like, I don't want to do something stupid. I want this to just work correctly, because I feel like it should work correctly. So I could always just make it stupid. Sorry, I went biking earlier, and I always get really dehydrated after biking, so I'm just gonna be, like, chugging water, if you don't mind. I'm almost done with it, actually. um, Yeah, what I realized at a certain point. All right, so let's go. All right, maybe I'll do this first. So yeah, so I'll make a note to myself. So luck based events outcomes are kind of stupid. Um, I'll remember what that means. Um, yeah, what had occurred to me is that, like, I don't. So, like, okay, so what this does is that every time a person uses an action tag, it will reset their every time anyone voices, like, uses, like, anyone ever, whenever someone says, like, potatoes or cats or whatever, uh the what'll happen is that this second timestamp will get overwritten by it'll get overwritten by whatever had been the previous value. So I think what I actually want to do is I want to check if I don't want to overwrite it, because I don't care about how recently they used it. What I care about is when was the first time that they used it, like how long ago. Like, because, like, this is like, hypothetically, like, the purpose of, like, keeping this data around will be to oh, yikes, how am I going to actually, how am I going to do this? Oof. It was just occurring to me, like, in order to keep track of this data, like, because, like, this voice data, oof. Actually, yeah, so am I even going to be using this data? Because, okay, what just occurred to me is that in order to, like, find out, like, which users, in order to, so, like, okay, so hypothetically we're keeping track of this timestamp so that we can reference it and, like, call out the players who, like, were in there early, like, the players who, like, the originators, the hashtag entrepreneurs, sorry, but that, like, okay, sorry. I can't with a straight face think of it like that, but I don't know. I keep thinking of that. All right. So yeah, in order to do that, but this is gonna get pretty complex, because what we'll have to do is we take the list of players, and it can be any of the players currently in the game, and we check all of their voice data to see if this key exists in their voice data, and then if it does, we look up oh no, you know what we can do? Yeah, I was just thinking, like, so in order to keep track of, like, whether the players have this voice key, like, we have to we should be keeping track of, like, not just the dictionary, but, like, we should be keeping track of a set of, like, the voices that they've used, because, like, sets, you can look up you can check, like, you can, like, look for a key in a set in a much more performant manner than looking up a key in a list, for example. And like the keys of a dictionary are like a list basically. So um, I mean, the other thing that we could do alternately, like we could do that hypothetically. So what I've heard about sets though is that they take up a little bit of memory. Um, so I don't know how out of control that would get if we had like a set for each player. I mean, we could also do it the other way around. We could keep track of a set. Yeah. So like we could keep track. So like we keep track of like the voice. So we have like the player dictionary voice data, and then we also have the volume dictionary. So we could just keep track of a set of the for each. So instead of for each player keeping track of, well, no, I guess it's the same thing either way. It's basically just whether we're keeping track of like a set per tag that keeps track of the players, or a set per player that keeps track of the tags. And I guess that actually is basically the same thing either way. Um, hmm. How much memory do sets actually use? Because I just heard that that was the downside of using them, but like if it's not that bad, then like, okay, so Python, how much memory do sets use? Uh, oops, yes, that's what I meant. Uh, does it actually talk about sets? Go away. Nope, that's not what we're talking about. Uh, Stop. I mean literal sets, you jerk. Is Python set collection to store unique objects? What? Okay. So apparently you can store 200,000 objects, but that takes 4 gig of memory. Uh, okay. 200,000 objects? What are these objects? Cause like 200,000, that's like not a big number in my impression. Although, I mean, I'm already keeping track of sets that I would have hoped could go up to 200,000 hypothetically, and if just a set alone with 200,000 objects like takes up 4 gig of memory, that's harsh. I guess I should be testing this stuff, right? Um, hmm. Yeah, I wonder if there's a way to use like virtual memory for some of this stuff. I mean, I tend to try and avoid data reading, but it might be it might be the lesser of two evils. Yeah, I've never tested with 200,000 objects before. I've tested with like 50,000, I think is the most. Uh, no, probably I don't know. Well, we'll see. I should do more. I mean, one of the things that I have on my list of stuff to do is stress testing. So I should. The tough thing about stress testing this is that in order to stress test it, basically what I do is I just point it at a channel with tons of viewers, but like at any given time, like basically I have to do it on a Sunday, like when they're like airing like LCS or like something, because like if I was gonna do a stress test right now, the highest stress test only has 30,000 viewers, and like And for stress testing, like what I really want to be testing is what I really want to be testing is chat activity, not just like viewership. So what like the best like channels, like sometimes like a channel with like 30,000 players or 30,000 viewers will have like a faster like chat throughput than like a channel with like 100,000 viewers. So what I really want to find is a channel with like that not only has like 200,000 viewers, but that is also like incredibly chatty. And it seems like that happens on Sundays. I didn't used to stream on Sundays. Maybe we can actually like stress test this on stream some Sunday if I actually do that. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Um, excuse me. Riot Games. Well, yeah. So the thing is, like, I can't just like stalk one account. That like I can't just like. I mean, I could hypothetically. I could make my stress testing schedule some other broadcaster's like schedule, but no. Like, what I need to do is I need to like ideally, you know, that there would be like actual testing opportunities. I mean, like the bottom line is just that testing opportunities only come up depending on like when certain things are broadcast. Certain super popular things are broadcast. So yeah, Riot Games could be one of them. I don't think it's even like probably going to be like the best one. And like again, like I'm not going to stalk like an individual account just to do this. But what I need to do is find when these things are happening. So yeah, it probably will be that account or like whatever other account. Like yeah, I mean, I literally just said LCS like a minute ago. So all right. Anyways, oh hey, okay. So the quest that's happening right now, or the event that's happening right now, is the Curse quest. So we were looking at like the why our luck-based event outcomes are kind of stupid, but at least it's just the text as far as I can tell. Like it did incur the quest chain appropriately, so that's good at least. Okay, so yeah, okay, so yeah, I was like lamenting the memory usage for sets and like whether I don't know, maybe this will be one of those things that like I try it but then like ultimately I cut it because it might just be more hassle than it's worth. I mean, like, I'm actually getting the feeling up front that maybe it will just be more hassle than it's worth. So maybe I should just, like, hold off. Hmm. Well, so then there is the other option. Instead of using the set to have the more performant memory lookup, I could instead spend processing power to do the less performant lookup. So instead of like keeping that extra data, I can just chill and and then so yeah, because this is something that won't actually be happening like super frequently. Like it'll be happening intermittently, but it's not like happening like every frame or anything. So yeah, maybe that is fine actually. All right. Yeah, but so then the one thing so what I do have to do is change how I'm setting this voice key so that I'm not like clobbering the frame time because I don't want to. So what I'll do is so player dictionary name voice v key will equal excuse me. It will equal player dictionary name dot voice dot get v key. Wait, hold on. No. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say uh, so vval. So we'll say like new voice data equals player dictionary index name dot voice dot get v key get v key. So this will get the v key data if the v key data already exists. Or if it doesn't exist, then we'll return voice timestamp frame time and then we'll set and then we'll I guess this is kind of in this is like almost this is a little redundant, but then we'll say new voice data index 0 equals voice timestamp. So like in the case that like we just fetched it and it didn't exist already, that data point will already equal voice timestamp. But in the case that we did fetch it, we need to be updating voice timestamp as such. So then we say player dictionary name voice v key equals new voice data. Yep. All right, so we'll do this in both of these cases to update the voice dictionary for the player accordingly. So let's go to the other place, up above where we did something similar. Where was it? No, not here. Here it is. So again, we'll say new voice data equals player dictionary index name. Name is the name, player dictionary index name dot voice dot get v key alternately voice timestamp frame time voice timestamp. We do call it voice timestamp here, voice timestamp, and bada bing bada boom. Okay, so now so for the second data point we'll timestamp it the first time the player uses this tag, and then for all subsequent time we update the first data point with we'll only update index 0 to be voice timestamp, and then frame time, like we won't even change the other one, it'll stay exactly as it had been. So new voice data equals player dictionary name. Okay, this should be fine. Okay, so cool. So now I was gonna save that, not run it. So now actually hold on, just in case I do run the scripts for testing purposes, I'm going to deactivate it as not the original true version of the script. So now I can add a little bit more to that feature that we just kind of put in as basically just 2 lines of code. So now it can be several more lines of code. So let's go to init role now, because we can instead of just looking for the rolled voices, we can now say so for each player now, what is it that we're gonna do? So for each player, this is so previously we could have done something like performant and nice here, but instead we're going to do something that doesn't involve extra data structures. So given the data that we have now, so rolled voices could it doesn't have to be just a single action tag. It could be multiple action tags. So basically what we want to go through is we want to put together is a list of all of the players who have any of these action tags going on, and we want to go through, look for, we're basically going to put together a list of who are the originals. So we have to check all of those data points. We're not going to distinguish between so like if there are multiple action tags, we're not going to change anything. We're still going to only look up like maybe it'll be like top 5 or something like that, right? We're always going to look up the top 5, and it will be like if someone hypothetically is on the list twice, like they won't show up in the top 5 twice, because we won't even be considering them as two separate, like, well, I don't really want to consider them as like two separate points on the list. Or actually maybe it'd be easier to do so. Maybe it'd be easier to like add literally every player, and then and then uh and then just like for the final list, like once we're like trimming it down to like the top 5, at that point then like trim out the duplicates. I just like I'm trying to think of like how to keep track of this data, and like I mean like basically like for sorting purposes, like the easiest thing might be to just put together these data points as a list, and then literally just sort the list. If I was going to do the other thing about like, yeah, no, that, let's just go with that. Let's just go with that. I think probably that should be fine. This is on the data thread, so like the nice thing about the data thread is like, even if I do like something like that takes a little bit of processing power, like it all happens under the hood because it's on a different thread than the graphics render, so it's not gonna like affect the frame rate or anything like that. And like I mean this sorry, I'm my foot was itchy. Sorry. um Yeah, this like event, like typical like rolling the dice will typically happen in like a not specifically intense moment in the game. So yeah, I guess this is fine. So right, so we'll say so for p key in player dictionary, we will say so for p key in player dictionary, for v key in rolled voices, oops, not rolled dialogue, rolled voices, uh, rolled voices, we're gonna say if v key in player dictionary spelled correctly, player dictionary index p key dot voices. I forget if it's dot voice or dot voices. uh, it is dot voices, yeah. Oh no. Nope, it's dot voice, because the only reference to dot voice is that one that I just typed right there. So yeah, no, it's dot voice. Okay, sorry. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so if it's in here, and so this is not necessarily performant. This is like not necessarily the best check that we could be running, because hypothetically, like if some person is like really talkative, then like they might have a lot of voice data going on, and so hypothetically it could take a little while to like pour over this list. And like I can like test how performant it really is, and if I find out that it is just like taking up way too, yeah, I mean we can come up with stuff. Um, yeah. All right. So. Oh, wait a second. Actually, hold on. You know what? No. Yeah. No. You know what might be easier is that like this list doesn't change, right? So maybe it would make more sense to. Yeah. One of the things I mentioned earlier is that like we could keep track of this by player and then by key, or we could keep track of this by key and then by player, and maybe we should be keeping track of this by key first, because like what we could do there is we could actually be keeping this list like prefabricated, like I mean, so this would be like, so the solution that I'm thinking of now like would use at least a little bit of memory, but it wouldn't use like as much as like keeping track of like sets, for like all the players and stuff. Um, and I think actually, hmm. Well, okay. Now I'm trying to think of how to make. So okay. So what if instead of keeping track of that second data point, like the frame timestamp, what if instead of keeping track of that, we just instead kept track of a separate list, literally just a list of like the players who use this tag, right? So for each of these, so like we have the voice dictionary, which keeps track of like the voice data, and then also like a list per tag of like the players who used it. Because then that list would be pre-sorted, and so like when that tag comes up, if when that tag comes up, then it could we would have the list like there at the ready, and we can just take the top 5 items from that list. But the thing about that though is actually I guess that we wouldn't just be taking the top 5 items from that list, because the way we're doing it now only like takes players that are actually currently in the game, whereas that list would hypothetically have a lot of players who like had left the game already. So I mean, we could just go down that list until we find like 5 players who are actually in the game. Um, so on the plus side, we're not using like sets, right? So like the sets take up more memory apparently than like a list. But the thing is that we are keeping track of like a lot of lists in that case. Like we're keeping track of a lot of lists. And like the way we'd be setting up those oh, wait a second. No. Shoot, I keep wanting to say like no, we don't have to keep track of the full list. We would only have to keep track of the first 5 entries, but no, for the reason I just said, we don't know how many of those entries we actually have to keep track of, because depending how long the script is running and depending on how fast like player turnover is occurring, then ugh. All right, I'll do this for now, and then that we can like keep that in mind as like maybe plan B, if and when we find that we might need to make a change of some sort. Okay, so vkey in player dictionary. Okay. Uh, excuse me. Oh yeah, so we have to put together like our leader list. Uh, leader list equals blank. So if vkey in player dictionary pkey dot voice will say leader list dot append, and so we have to so the first data point is the one that we're going to sort by, because this is going to be a list of data pairs. I can use tuples. I don't know if there's actually any advantage to using tuples. I assume there would be, because tuples are like restrictive in ways that I don't enjoy. So I assume there has to be like some benefit to that restriction. But all right, so player dictionary index pkey dot voice index vkey index 1, because 1 is the vkey index 1, because 1 is not the effective timestamp, it's the like actual original timestamp, comma pkey, the player's name. Okay, and then so if vkey, yeah, and that's pretty much all we have to do. And then we just sort the lists. Then we just say leader list dot sort. We don't have to do reverse order because we want to do the lowest number first. And then so we're not pre-filtering for duplicates. So now we just have to filter for duplicates. So we'll say while the length of actually let's not call this a leader list, because like let's say let's just call this the the like vocal lists, because this is just gonna be the full list of all the players who've like used the tag, and so we'll say so then we'll say the leader list leader list is a new list, and then so we'll say, so while the length of leader list is less than 5 and so we'll say like I count equals 0. So while the length of leader list is less than 5 and I count is less than the length of vocal list, basically what we're going to do is we're going to iterate over vocal list, and if each so like yeah so we'll say like so we'll say if vocalist index I count being our iterator, index 1, because we don't care about the timestamp anymore. The timestamp was just for sorting purposes. Oh, hey, Fresh, how's it going? Welcome. Yeah, vocalist index I count index 1. So the player's name from this vocalist item. If this player's name not in leader list, then we say leader list dot append vocalist index I count index 1, and then regardless of whether we actually add it on or not, we will say I count plus equals 1. So we're just iterating over the vocalist, and if we each time we find a player, so we'll always be adding in the first player, right? Oh yeah, so that's true. Oh, the vocalist could hypothetically be empty. So whatever. Okay, so we're gonna say oh yeah, I guess hypothetically vocalist could be empty. Also, I kind of want to do this after the after we do the result quote thing, because I actually kind of want to tack this on to the very end of the string. I wonder if I wonder if I should like only include like the leader list, like only do the special recognition in the case that like it turns out successful, because like in the case that like it turns out poorly, do I really want to be calling out these players? It doesn't seem like such a proud distinction if like everything just like crashes and burns, you know? I don't know. um, okay, so maybe, you know what? Maybe I will actually do it before it, like the success or tragedy thing. Well, no, no, because sometimes success or tragedy is like literally the first thing that gets said. Result quote. Say Q, say string plus result quote. Uh, wait, why is oh no, never mind. Uh, okay. Um, hmm. Oh, for the say string. Oh, that's interesting. We didn't even do the like the results in the asterisk thing until the very end here. All right, yeah, I hadn't like I'm starting to think of like how to format this this text. So like yeah, so what it looks like presently is like so are these? Oh, this is like a scratch file. I don't really need this anymore. Uh, Actually, I'll leave that around because it might become relevant when I'm fixing that action, the luck-based action bugs or whatever. This one's not needed anymore, unless you need this one fresh. Unless in case you need to look at that again, I can reconstitute that if need be. Oh, this one's definitely not needed. I'll leave that one for now. Okay, sorry. I just don't want a million of these files open all at the same time. Okay, so yeah, so like success, like the fates smile on you today. 10 out of 10. I think this is how it's like formatted presently. Like, because it says like success or tragedy. It says like, or well, the fates smile today, or whatever. And then, oh yeah, well, so one not important thing is that at a certain point I decided instead of using square braces for these things, I should use just parentheses, because like for a lot of stuff where I had been using square braces, I realized that like it's not actually convenient on like all virtual keyboards to like if like hypothetically if you're using a mobile device, like it's not convenient from a mobile device to use the square braces. It's more convenient to use the parentheses. So all right, small thing, but okay, so oh, that's interesting. We don't put the like the result text, like the numerical result text. We don't actually put that in the in the screen string, which I guess is fine. But yeah, no, I guess that's fine. Because we also trim the suffix commands out of the screen strings too, so I guess that's good. Okay, sure, why not? Uh, so I guess we'll put together this this other text as like a separate thing, and then I can figure out where to put it, like the leader text. All right, so leader list. So we have our leader list, and then we'll say so like leader string equals so yeah, so like at the end of an event, like it says like perfect, it says like nice books 100% led by Marty BM. So the phrasing here is going to be a little bit different because it's not like this is going to be a complete sentence unto itself. So it'll be like let's look at our thing. It's like fate smile today, 1010. Well, so yeah, so the 1010 only shows up in the text. It actually doesn't show up in the on-screen text. So it'll kind of be, so in some contexts it'll kind of be there. I'll leave it there because like in the case that it's not there, it'll basically just be like, you know, like whatever. So the fate smile today. So I might just go like with something straightforward, like credit to like you know, like credit to Snapu. Wow. Fresh 99 and Marty, yeah, or something like that. I don't know, I might just go with something like simple. Because then the other thing so then the other thing though is that sometimes it'll be like instead of success it'll be tragedy. What was the what was like one of the tragic strings? I'm so sorry for you, or better luck next time. It's like tragedy, like oh dear. 0 of 10. Credit to Snap. Like in this case, it's like a little bit. It seems a little sarcastic. I guess like I just maybe credit is fine. Like credit to like so and so's. Maybe that's fine. Uh, yeah, I don't want to go with anything like over the top. Otherwise, like it's gonna in this case like if it's something like and we have like so and so to thank for this or whatever. Then like that sounds like yeah. I'll just say credit to. Uh, all right, so leader string will say credit to, and then oh yeah, so we'll want to do the we'll kind of want to do the same thing that we do when we're formatting the so like if the length of leader string uh is oh well actually so for one thing actually we only do this at all if oh not leader string sorry leader if the length of leader list yeah we only do this at all if the length of oh no okay so actually no for yeah right so actually for yeah so the first thing that we actually do is if the length of vocal lists because hypothetically this list could be empty. Like that's not going to be the common scenario, but hypothetically it could be empty. In that case, we don't have to worry about any of this other stuff. Yeah. So we'll say so out here we'll say uh, leader string equals blank, and then so down here we'll say okay. So yeah. So if this all works out, we'll say leader string equals credit to, and then if the length of leader list, so if the vocal list is greater than length 0, then the leader list has to be greater than length 0. If the vocal list is like length 5, leader list could still be length 1, but it couldn't be shorter than length 1 because the first item from vocal list is guaranteed to be on leader list, as long as there's. Oh yeah, right. So okay, so actually, yeah, that was the other thing. Is that leader list? We can initialize it to vocalist index 0, index 1, because we know that the first item on the vocal list is going to make it onto the leader list, and so that just saves us one check, and we can initialize our counter to start at 1 instead of starting at 0. Right. So so if the length of leader list is greater than no if the length of leader list equals 1 we're just going to special case the first two no just the first one because this is the one where we just say leader string plus equals oh yeah, so it's going to be player dictionary, index, leader list, index 0, dot name. Because this is like the well-formatted version of the player's name, the one that actually we want to show up in text when we want their name to show up in text. Yeah. Okay. And then, oh, and then, so then it'll also be plus a period, because this is a sentence. Sort of. Credit to. I don't know if it's a full sentence. It might be like a little bit of a fragment. Credit to. Yeah, I don't think that's a full sentence. I think that's technically a fragment. I mean, I think the full sentence would be like credit goes to. I don't care. Credit to is a verb now. Maybe that's a full sentence. I don't know. Whatever. So, alright, so then, actually, wait, maybe I don't have to special case this like this. I can just say, Oh, no, no, yeah, that's fine. All right, so then we'll say else. So else for I in range leader range the length of leader lists leader list -1. So not for the full leader list, but only for everything except for the final entry in leader lists. We'll say leader string plus equals basically this, except actually it'll be leader list index I, and will be appending a comma and then a space, and then oh, actually, hold on. I should double check how I'm formatting the text, like the Oxford comma. Oh. Yeah, no, I think I also want to. I actually do want to special case the situation where leader list is length 2. Yeah, because it's actually L if because we don't use commas if there's just 2. So L if leader if the length of leader list equals 2, then we'll say yeah, so it'll be the first name and the second name. So player name blah blah and index 1 dot name plus the period. Okay. And then yeah, so the Oxford comma. I just want to check, like, cause like I was mentioning before, like there's the precedent for the end of the event where we say like who led any particular event. Yeah, and so I'm just like, okay, I think we do the Oxford comma. Yeah, we do. Look how Oxford comma that is. Mhm. So if it's not clear what I'm talking about, right? So it won't be like Snappy Wow Fresh 99 and Marty BM. It'll be Snappy Wow Fresh 99 comma and Marty BM. What is there's debate. There's apparently debate over like whether to use the Oxford comma or not. Which I guess makes sense. There are just some really uh, uh, hilarious situations wherein an Oxford comma doesn't get used. I think I know what this one is. So, alright, that's a little bit inappropriate. Sorry. Um, I'm sure all of these are fine examples. Alright, we invited the Rhinoceri, Washington, and Lincoln. I don't know. The point of it is just that if you don't use the Oxford comma in a list of 3 items, it sometimes implies that the latter 2 items are not part of a list of 3, but rather a list of 2, like of the type of the first item. So I don't know. This is kind of a weird example, but it just implies that Washington and Lincoln are rhinoceri. There are much funnier examples out there. Not all of them are appropriate though. Okay, so yes. So long story short, we're including the Oxford comma. Where were we just now? We were at like leader lists. Okay, yeah. So are we good now? Okay, so no, we're not done with this case. because then, so we're only doing up to the very last item, and that's because for the last item we do something different. For the last item we say so for or not for we just say leader string basically the same thing that we're doing here, except we say and then we end it with the period instead of the comma. Oh, and this is leader list index -1, so the last item on the list, because we did not iterate over the last item on the list when we were putting this together, and there we have it. So now we have the leader string, and we can just tack the leader string various places. So for example, the leader string goes after this here, and then for the screen string, I think it just goes, oh yeah, so screen string plus equals result quote plus leader string. Yeah, and then so then we do the new characters thing, and I think that's good. I think that's good to go. So I think now, well, I'm not gonna, actually no, you know what, I'll probably just restart the script. Yeah, and like test it live, cause why not? Alright, so I'm gonna bring the script down. Actually, I'm just gonna restart the script. Actually, yeah, so I'll make this the real version of the script, and I'll just restart it, and we can just test it. I usually don't restart the script in the middle of an event. Invalid syntax. Oh, whoops! I forgot to add a plus sign here. Yeah. Well, like that event had just been like kicking around. I especially try not to restart an event. Again, I forgot the plus sign. I especially try not to restart an event during a quest chain, but that event had just been kicking around for a while, so sorry. You snooze, you lose. Alright, so I'm gonna say potato. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I'm just gonna temporarily deactivate Twitter. I should have another switch for so original equals true, like do Twitter equals true, and actually this one I'm gonna set to false, and then yeah, all I'm gonna change here is the part where we actually like send these items off to Twitter. So like Twitter dot post update. Yeah. So if the length of item. So if, I'll just say if do Twitter and the length of item and blah blah. And if we're not doing Twitter, then we'll just never post these updates. So I think even when do Twitter is off, we'll still post updates for when players level up. Oh no, I guess we don't. I guess this is where all the Twitter posting happens. Oh, interesting. Oh, so when we tweet level ups, we actually don't actually tweet the level ups. We just add them to the tweet queue. Ooh. So that thing that I deleted yesterday about like the tweet queue priority, like I actually might want to bring that back. Yeah, I hadn't really been thinking about that. So like tweet queue priority like event text before level up messages. Yeah, I think I actually do want to do that. I'm in fact quite certain that I do. Yeah. And so actually I guess we don't do the level up things when we're not doing Twitter. Or, which I don't necessarily care for, but whatever. Maybe we'll change that once we separate those things out. Yeah, sorry, SnapAWow. I took the script down, so that event is a lie. It has become a lie. Alright, so do Twitter. I left that as false for now, right? Okay, good. Yeah, because otherwise when I'm testing this stuff, it would just like Trusty Bard would be like spammy and stuff. Alright, so I'm going to say potato in chat, and And so potato shows up here, and now if I say like roll like 5 potato or so if I say roll 5 let's eat potato, then Excelsior, what we should see is let's eat potato, how probable, 3 of 5, credit to Binry. So cool, everything just magically worked, right? um, oh yeah, it didn't say like success or failure. So yeah, actually I'm gonna try that again. So like potato. Oh, whoa, we got a crash. That's fun. All right, let's see what this is about. POW volume init, volume drop off, brevity. Oh, I bet I know what this is. Voice.get, yeah. Okay, there are more references to voice. Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay, there are like several more references to voice. Or maybe this is the only other reference to dot voice. Um, but yeah, I kind of skimmed over this one before. Let's see. Right, because if I'm doing like dot voice, well, I'll just look specifically for those cases. Dot voice dot get. Yeah, okay. So there are a few more references that kind of overlooked. Dot voice dot get. Is it just these two? Yeah, there's 2 cases. Okay. So what we want to do here is we want to say player dictionary name dot voice dot get etc index index 0, which means in this case in the alternate case of like frame time etc we have to not just return frame time but a tuple with like a useless secondary value because we don't actually reference the secondary value, but yeah. Okay. I guess that's good. So v key. Okay, no, this one we already, yeah, that one already works, right? Okay. Uh, oh, wait a second. We already do this get thing up here, so there's no point. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, actually, I'm just gonna change a little bit of how this works. So like we'll say like v data equals yeah. Oh, wait a second. Uh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So v data equals basically this, except we're not going to initialize a voice timestamp here. We're going to initialize it to this frame time business that we had over here. Because this is like basically like so basically the way this works is that if the player hadn't like didn't have this voice key this key in their voice data, what we basically treat it as though they had it, but they'd had it like they'd said it like an hour ago, which is like the maximum amount of time. So yeah. Okay. So now we don't even have to do this like get thing anymore. We can just say v data. We can just say like v data index 0. Uh, and then we don't have to do this because we already got it. And so it's not new voice data, it's just v data. V data index 0 equals voice timestamp. And then the player dictionary voice blah blah equals vdata. Yeah. Okay. So we'll want to do the same thing in the other place as well. Actually, I should just I'll just copy like this whole block here. Yeah, because it's like literally the same in both cases. Except for the indentation. Okay. Yeah. I think it's literally the same in both cases. I hope it's literally the same in both cases, because I just like stomped a whole bunch of stuff if not. No, I'm pretty sure it's the same in both cases. Okay. So that should be good now. So let's try that. So, yeah, so I'll say like potato. I don't know why it's always potato. It's just always potato. Oh, let me double check that the do Twitter deactivation thing worked. And that like Trusty Bard isn't just like tweeting random like let's eat potato. Okay, good. Just checking. Alright, so roll let's say like a 3 out of 8. Let's eat potato. Excelsior. So let's eat potato. Tragedy. Better luck next time. 1 out of 8. Credit to Benray. Alright, so the crash that we just fixed is if I say potato again. Alright, it didn't crash this time, so that's good. And... Oh, but it also didn't put potato back up on the list. Huh. Potato. Potato... Oh. I know why. Hold on. Potato, is super tasty eat stuff. I think I know why. No? Still not putting potato back up on the list. Weird. Why did it just get, like, completely nuked? That seems weird. Like, I get why it got nuked. We intentionally took it off of the, we intentionally took it off of the list, but, like, that shouldn't prevent us from putting it back on the list. Oh. No? Huh. Wait, hold on. Sorry for spamming, but I'm spamming for the sake of testing. Alright, no, let's see what's going wrong here, because it's not getting added back onto the list anymore. So volume dictionary, so if vval greater than 0, so either vval is not getting greater than 0, or... Oh, yeah. No, you know what we should do? You know what we should do? Yeah, no, you know what we should do is, when we rinse this, like, when we use these, okay, so, where was the, leader list? When we're putting together the leader list, leader list, we shouldn't just, populate the leader list by appending vocalist, or no, when we're putting together the vocalist, we shouldn't just append these items. We should literally pop these items off this player. Yeah. So, so we should do, vocalist.append player dictionary pkey.voice dot pop vkey index 1. Because this is the scenario where we're literally like using up and expending this item, and we can get rid of it because if it ever comes up again, it'll be like a brand new thing, basically. So we'll just like completely rinse this. We'll just completely rinse the all record of this. I don't know necessarily why, like, keeping that record was interfering with like the tag from returning, but it seemed to be. So let's try this now. Sorry, I'm going to be restarting the script a little bit, as you might have noticed. All right, so potato. Again with the potato. Always with the potato. And then so Trusty Bard will say roll, let's say a 3 out of 20 this time. 3 out of 20. Or let's say 3 out of like 4d10. That'll give us a really good chance of eating this potato. I want potato, Excelsior. I want potato success. How probable? 14 out of 40. Credit to Binry. Alright, so now, hypothetically, it rinsed like all the potato data from my profile. So if I say potato again, it's still not showing up on the list? Why? Why does it not come back? Is it just completely deactivated? Like, is nothing showing up? Or like, so how about like salsa? Okay, so it's just like potato like got killed. It got like kill murdered, and like it's never coming back for some reason. That seems dark. Like, what would cause that to happen? Oh no, I know exactly what caused that to happen. All right, sorry. No, I completely, yeah, no, it's the rolled voices. I'm not resetting rolled voices. Potato is staying on the rolled voices list, and so it's just getting instantly terminated every time. Right. No, so after we do this whole for v key blah blah blah, we have to reset rolled voices. Yeah. Okay. So rolled voices equals an empty list. Okay. Yes. Right. Okay. So now it should work fine. So one more time. Potato. And then potatoes on the list. So then roll. Let's live dangerously. Let's like roll a 10 out of like 3d8. That's not dangerous. That's statistically probable. It's potato party time. Excelsior. It's potato party time. Success. How probable? 12 out of 24. Credit to Binry. Oh yeah, and it'll show up on screen too. I haven't been really paying attention to that, but look at that. Success. How probable? Credit to Binry. Yeah, so it leaves out the 12 out of 24, but other than that, yeah. Cool. Cool, good. Good, cool, good. And oh yeah, right. So now the thing that I hadn't been working before. Let's double check that potato can return. Yeah, of course it can. I was just forgetting that one silly little thing. Okay. Alright, yeah, that's that, basically. So the one thing that we don't have yet is we don't have anything that, that really encourages people to, like, actually, like, use this voice data. So that's, like, I think that's something that we have on the backlog that I might want to, bring up. Trusty prompts for voices. Yeah. I think, so I don't think I'm going to actually reuse the epilogue system, so I'm going to get rid of that. Well, I won't delete it. I'll just, like, I don't know, I might want to do that. I'm just going to put it in, like, quotation marks with a question mark, or put it in parentheses with a question mark. Yeah, so trusty prompts, basically, so there are some things that would be, like, helpful, thank you, Snapua. um, uh, yeah, so basically, like, there are things that, like, it would help if people knew about the game. I guess, like, I don't know. On the one hand, like, I just, for, like, a lot of these things, like, when I first implemented them, I was just like, people don't need to know about it. Like, expert players will know about it, and expert players can use it, and then no one else really has to care about it. But I don't know if that's, like, necessarily the best way to go about it. I don't want everything to be, like, tribal knowledge. So, like, yeah, I think I will want to add in these trusty prompts. I mean, I know I wanted to add them. I have them in the in the future log. And I've had them here for a while though. So, I mean, like, yeah. Uh, I think in general, like one thing that I just want to do is like make things more overt, because like kind of like, okay, so like there's the whole like event system and how the event system works and like how scoring works, but like it's exist. Oh, I'm gonna shut down the script because I'll restart the script in a short while, and it'll actually like pick up the I'll give the IRC list time to cool down. Yeah, no, the so yeah, so only just what was it? Just yesterday did we add in, or was it the day before? I forget. Like the energy stars that like, or like not the energy stars, but like the action status stars that like actually like show players like how the events are proceeding. So like, I don't know. I think like it all seemed like so obvious and intuitive to me as the person who made all of these things that like, well, okay, so no, part of it was that when I made these things, I specifically tried to make it so that you didn't have to understand how it was working, and that it would work fairly intuitively. But I don't know. There's enough things happening in this game at this point that like there's no harm in like making it a little more overt, like actually giving visual indications of like what, or like not just visual, but like just giving like any indication of like what's going on or like what's happening. So yeah, I I think that's kind of like the direction that I'm trying to take the game now, is like to be overt about those things. So that's another example, like the trusty prompts. It's not my favorite example because it's just like textual. Um, it's basically just like Trusty Bard will say intermittently like, "Hey, did you know you can, use like these voice whatevers and stuff like that." The reason that actually that's kind of like on my mind is the spontaneous guest GMing. That is going to require some very delicate trusty prompts, because basically what's going to happen there. Oh yeah, what am I doing with this stuff? Yeah, I actually did this. This is actually like real and stuff. Okay, so oh yeah, so I have to do luck-based events, outcomes, and to make them less stupid, and I need to do the tweet queue priority. Probably. I don't have to, but I'm pretty sure I want to do that. Or I could just take out the. I mean, the other thing I could do. I. No, I don't like. I don't know what. Huh. I wonder what. I wonder what the limit on like how fast like a Twitter bot can like tweet. Because right now I don't tweet more than once every 3 seconds, but I forget if that was just like a random thing that I put in, or if it's actually like part of the restriction of like what you can do with a Twitter app. Twitter app post limit, rate limits, per user or per application. So they have a chart. No. Post get and post request limits. If you what rate limits on reads? Wait. Five posts will count against any other application acting on behalf of user A. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. I get that like the limits are shared across all apps, but what is the actual limit? Like that's what I'm trying to figure out. What the crap? Where are the here's the rate limit chart. This is I think what I was looking for. These are all gets. These are literally all gets. I don't care about gets. I don't care about gets. I don't care about gets. I want to know what the post limit is. You jerk. You terrible, terrible jerk docs. Just give me the information I want. Don't give me all this like garbage that no one cares about. Give me the information I want. Do it. Uh, Twitter limits. 2,400 per day. Huh. Is this true? This I don't know, this document doesn't look like most of the app documents, so I'm wondering if it's not like really old or outdated or something. You can change your email address 4 times per hour. That's so weird. It's like, sure, right? But like, who changes their account email 4 times? Anyways, hmm, 2,400 tweets per day. I hadn't really thought about that, but I I definitely have to like, ooh, yeah, like the level up tweets, like, oof, that'd be really easy to hit, and like in a lot of cases. Maybe I should take out like the level tweets for like levels like 1 through 20 or something like that. Cause like those low levels can go really fast, and especially if there are like a million players, not literally a million, but if there are a lot of players, then like, yeah. Oh, that's sad. Oh, I never really thought about that particular limit, but I guess it makes sense and is also just terrible. Um, hmm. Yeah, I should definitely take out I should definitely take out the messages for a lot of the early levels. Uh, that's sad. All right, so like ad experience, ad experience, do. So level new level ups tweet. So if tweet, what is this tweet? Oh, oh, whether to tweet the level up or not. Yeah. So if tweet, yeah. So we're just say if tweet and new level level greater than. Let's look at our curve. Like, when do the levels start to like space themselves out? I know the first batch of levels like happen really fast, and so we'll not want yeah. So the first chunk of levels like happen really fast, but then when we get to like level 9, they start to get spaced out a little bit more. So maybe we can, maybe we can enable the tweet messages as soon as level 9 or so. Uh, 10 is a nice number though. Maybe we'll start at 10. Uh, what are the level messages in that range? Because like it's a little bit sad that we don't like we have level messages for levels like 1 through 9, but yeah, I just like I can't. So there's not really a way that like I can anticipate like the limit, like the approach of this limit, and like throttle the number of level up messages accordingly, because like that's kind of like what we'd want to do, because like in order to keep the game playable through Twitter, like we have to send these we will have to be sending these Hmm. Yeah, it's so sorry. In order to keep it so that we can like the primary like the core like quest like game data messages can go